Kurt, good
Hello,
to see you
Sean.
again.
You as well.
It's been too long. It's only been, what did we do
5
this?
hours.
5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No,
How
this
did
is
Connor-
good.
How did Connor
What's
like
that?
the ride? How did Connor
Oh,
like the
loved it. Loved it. He was tickled
That's
fucking
awesome.
pink. He's like, what? He was trying to tell my parents. We went to go visit my parents, and he was trying to be like,
Right.
I went for a ride on a, and he looks at me like, what? Oh, rock truck. Yeah, I was on a rock truck. And yeah, he was just tickled
That's
fucking pink.
good. That's
It was
good.
great. Yeah, man. So,
Yeah.
but no, we're we're not changing the format, if you will. We're just kind of introducing our guest because our guest couldn't make it tonight due to some family commitments. So we got Doug Wright, owner of March Scopes, who sat down with us earlier today. We had about an hour-long conversation with him and learned a bunch.
Yeah,
you know?
good dude. Yeah.
It was pretty good. So
He's pretty damn good with all the information about those March Scopes for being screen shy, hey?
well, for sure. Well,
Listen,
you can tell he's a elderly gentleman, right? And he
Mhm.
you can tell this isn't his
No,
his forte kind of
that's
thing.
right, yeah.
But he told a lot of good history about himself, and
Yeah.
and we dove into what March. Well, let's just let you listen to it. It's great. So we're gonna see if this works here. Oh, if I can hit the right button, and let's go.
Yeah,
There it
you
is.
want to tell everybody that we're just going to play the video and just be available for comments and stuff like that?
Yeah, so we're gonna, like
Yeah.
Kurt said, if you guys have any questions or comments, we'll do our best to answer them. But I can forward them on to Doug too, and we can get you answers and stuff. But we covered a lot during this, so yeah, boys.
Yeah, we kind of did. You bet.
And Carrie, boys, and Carrie.
Nancy will be along right away, I'm sure.
Yeah, Nancy, Sarah probably too. She won't comment though. Anyway, all right, let's get into this here. Let me know if you can hear this.
Enjoy.
Let's see.
Edit out all the bad stuff.
No, what's this editing you speak of?
Yeah. No editing. Neither
No,
one of us has time or inclination.
Yeah, that's right. Well, welcome, guys. I don't know what episode this is, but it's, I think it's 15 or 16 now. Oh, well. We have a very special guest tonight that we had to accommodate. We're actually pre-recording this in the afternoon here because, Doug's pretty busy with his life there. So Doug from March Scopes joins us. So welcome, Doug. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So do you want to tell everyone who's listening a little bit about yourself?
Well, that's probably a long story. I'm 69 years old.
We got all the time in the world for you, man.
That's good.
My dad was a farmer in southern Saskatchewan around Shaunavon and by Shaunavon.
Yeah.
And I was raised on a farm there. And then he got sick. He got sprayed with Dealdrin, which is a grasshopper poison, nerve agent. Anyway, he was sick after that. So the doctor told him to sell a farm or we could bury him. So he bought a hotel in Neville, Saskatchewan. We were there for a few years and it burned down. And then I went to high school in Swift Current. And then I guess I worked a lot too. I guess I was in high school. I worked 9 and 10. I worked 20 hours a week at the hauling out groceries at a grocery store to make extra money to shoot guns and do whatever, buy motorbikes. And in grade 11 and 12, I arranged my spares so I got to school at 2 o'clock and I worked 30 hours a week. And then I was in Army Cadets and went to some camps and got some training. I was in militia there for a while, so we did lots of shooting on the farm and shooting in militia and cadets and stuff. And then I did some instructing and I won an award for top cadet in Saskatchewan. They sent me to Petawawa, Ontario for 2 weeks for heat indoctrination and sorting things out. And then they sent me to Barbados for 6 weeks one summer.
Oh, that's tough.
Rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first time I ever left anywhere more than 30 miles from Shaunavon or Swift Current. No, I didn't. They sent me to BC to a camp out there in Vernon too. So, but yeah, pretty nice. I got a pretty nice trip out of that. And then I was, instructing the cadets down there with shooting and stuff like that. And what did I do? Oh, well, when I finished, I was going to go to university, but I thought, well, I could use a better car. So I would work a year and buy another car. And
Yeah.
Once I got a taste to make real money, I wasn't going back to school. So I worked about, I don't know, they hired me at that store to run the produce department there. I was a produce manager. Well, I started working there, and then about 2 months later, the manager quit, so they made me the manager. And then I worked there for another 6 months or so, but they were treating me right or paying me right, so I left. Never looked back really. And but jobs are hard to find in Saskatchewan in those days. So you go stand at the pipeline, and they're hiring 30 guys, and there's 500 guys in the yard. And so a buddy of mine was finished school in Saskatoon or university, and he said, "Oh, they're hiring down at the CPR." And I thought, "Oh, I labor at the CPR. Isn't that the best job in the world?" But I had had a '69 Camaro Z28 then, and I was paying $125 a month on that. And I had a brand new 650 BSA Lightning that I had paid cash for. And I was worried I was going to have to sell my car or sell my motorbike to make my car payments. So I beggars can't be choosers. So I went to work there. It was the best job I ever had in my life. Outside, fresh air. I started just working as a laborer and then driving spikes. I really liked that. That was good, hard, strong work. And then I got a machine operator, and then they made me a general foreman, and then they were training me to be a roadmaster, but away from home all the time. I kind of got tired of that, so I quit that. And some other jobs here and there. I was inspecting pipe and worked on the pipeline, and then I decided that every time you change job, you're starting at the bottom again. So I saw these electricians working there, and when they moved jobs, they started as a journeyman rate. So I decided I was going to be an electrician. So,
holy Lord!
Wow.
Yeah. And then we were wiring houses too, and watching these guys build houses. So me and my brother decided that we could. We did a bunch of framing too. My brother was in the Air Force, and he got out, and then he got a job, or I got him a job framing houses with a buddy of mine. And so then I was tired of doing the electrical stuff. So the guy that he was working for was from Sweden, and he was going home. He'd go home naturally. He'd go home for 6 months. So they were going to keep up framing houses. So the guy offered Bob the job, and he'd only been there like 2 weeks. So I said to him, so he says, I wasn't happy with the guy I was working for. He says, "You want to go framing houses?" So I said, "Sure." Well, first I said, "Do you know how to frame one? You only been there 2 weeks." He said, "I all figured out, except," he says, "Lawrence built the stairs. He has to actually build the stairs in those days." He says, "I haven't got that figured out, but I saw the book Lawrence has. You can get it down at the hardware store." And he says,
Nice.
So we go framing houses, and so he shows me how to, he lays out the wall, and I'm hammering it together with a hammer, and he's sitting on the sawhorse reading the book.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Framing for dummies.
Yeah.
He screwed up to one of the stringers on the side, so we had to go down to the lumber yard and buy a 2x12 out of our own pocket. And he got it right the next time, and we never looked back. We made a lot of money framing houses, and then we bought the air tools, and that went a lot quicker. And then we said, well, we should be building these houses. So we started Wright Brothers Homes Limited, and we started building spec houses.
Nice.
For a while. Actually, the first one we built in Swift Current because we couldn't afford a lot up here in Calgary.
Yeah.
There was too much trouble going back and forth. So I sold a rental property I had. So we had more money to buy lots, and we started building houses. Did that for a while, and I went back doing electrical work while there in about the towards about 82 or 83. We were having a hard time selling the ones we built. So I sort of sold them off and went back and bought some more rental property again, and pretty much did that. So, that's what I
You built up the cash to be able to sell Japanese handcrafted scopes.
Yeah, well, I got a few rental property. Me and my brother were in and out of business and bought a bunch of condos, and then I have this warehouse here now. It was actually his originally. I bought half of it and renovated it, and then he took all the condos and houses, and I kept this one. So, it's been pretty good. But I mean, lately the city's taxing the hell out of me, and rates up. You know how it's going with the economy. So.
Oh yeah. Well, Kurt's in construction, and I'm in agriculture, and so you don't have to preach to us about. They're not saying you're preaching, but you don't have to tell us about how we're getting hammered by taxes. It's
exactly.
That's how it is.
The oil tax has been been defunct now for about 4 years or more, and it's getting worse. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and Swift Current and Shaunavon area, and even Southern Alberta, they took a big hit, but they're starting to get back going again, but it's not like it used to be. But anyway,
Thank you, Trudeau.
Yes, thank you, sir.
So you're in Calgary now?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So how did you get started then with March Scopes?
Well, I bought a 2.5 to 25 from Kelby's in the States. Oh man, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 years ago.
Right.
And I bought another one from the called Grizzly, or what we call this other name, from the guy down there. He had the exclusive distributorship for North and South America, and I bought one from him a few years back, a 5x40, 556, first focal plane. I was using it for PMS or PRS shooting, precision rifle shooting.
Okay. Right.
And then I wanted another one because I do long range 1,000-yard stuff too. And I wanted a 10x60 by 56. They have a high master with real good glass. So I wanted one of them, and I tried to order it, and the girl took the order, and then a week later she phoned me back and said, "Well, we're not shipping to Canada anymore." So I was a little disgruntled. So I got a hold of March and said, "This is ridiculous. We've always had a problem. Even to get them before, we had to get an import permit, send it down there, export permit, and it cost like $200 or $300 to get a scope up here. So I am more than 200, almost $300. So I phoned them and said, we're having trouble getting these scopes up here. It's ridiculous. I said, we need a distributor up here. And they said, well, you could be it if you want to be. So,
deal.
So I said, I'll do that because I needed a scope.
Right.
I get it. So I imported, I had to import a certain amount to get the distributorship. And so I did that. And then I went down and helped them at the SHOT Show last February and learned a lot of stuff. And then I ordered, while I was there, I ordered 38 more scopes. I already had so I got 57 in stock right now.
Holy smokes.
Wow. And they're fairly significant scopes. Like, they're not no Vortex, no offense to Vortex, but they're no cheapo scope, right? So that's a pretty significant investment on your part.
Oh, yeah. In retail value, I got about $250,000. So.
No kidding.
Woo.
Well, yeah, and then things have been a little slow, but I so.
There you go. So for the uneducated, for people that are used to the the brand names, right, like Nikon or Vortex or whatever, what is March Scopes? Like, can you give us a rundown about that? Yeah,
I sure can. They're made in Japan. They're made with all handmade parts in Japan. The tube itself is a solid block of aluminum that they machine the whole tube out of a solid block. And the two guys that own the company, they used to either work for the company, or I guess they must have worked for them. They worked for a company that designed their engineers, and they designed scopes for, and I'm not going to say who, but some of the likely suspects. So then they would buy these plans and the specifications, and then they would take it to the guy to manufacture them, right? And the guy would say, well, if you cut this corner here, if you change this, we could build it a lot cheaper. So they started doing that. And after they did that enough times, they got a little perturbed because they're taking their good work and he said we could say anything, bastardized. So they got a little tired of that. So they left and started their own company to make these scopes properly, the way they engineered them, with all the best parts and the best engineering, and put them together and sold them themselves. And that's how they do it.
No kidding.
And the bench rest guys, all of the other scopes, the short range bench rest guys, I mean, they're trying to do what, 0.1 or less. And when they get point of aim shift, they can't put them all in there. And so they would send, so I won't say who, but couple other brands in particular, names back, and they would send them back and say, that's the best we can do. And it was a percentage. I can't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, they talked to March, and March said, we can make them with no shift. And they do. And the bench rest guys, that's what I've sold mostly. The bench rest short range guys. Right. No point of aim shift. And they can't stand that. I mean, when we're shooting 1,000 yards, if you get a little bit in the wind is more important. Yeah. A thousandth of an inch. But for those guys, 1,000 inches is important.
Pretty
For
big
sure.
deal, yeah. You betcha.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I've been like you. I've been shooting all my life, and that's why I ordered one of these 20 years ago because you know they're the best. You know. And,
How long has March been in business then?
that's a good question. I would think that I don't even know. I should go and look it up, but I suspect that I bought that first one from Kelby's back. Yeah, let me think of which gun I put it on. Certainly in the early 2000s or before.
Okay, yeah.
Been around. I'll have to ask them. I don't know how long they've been. For quite a while. You know, I mean, they're a high-end scope, and like you say, I was at the SHOT Show, and there's guys there that are dealers are walking up and saying, "I never heard of March before." So I mean,
Right.
Well,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the first time I heard of March scopes was in, I want to say it was 08, 09, something like that. And I think it was not long after that they came out with an 8 to 80 or some darn thing that really grabs your attention.
got one here.
Good Lord.
Well, even what I heard about them, a lot of pro 3-gunners started using them because you guys were offering more significant magnifications. Like when a few years ago, anyway, 1 to 4 was all the hot fuss, and then 1 to 6 started getting more common now. But then 1 and 8, 1 and 10, and you guys had those for the last decade essentially. And so a lot of pro shooters in the States were using those, and that's what got me on them. And then I saw you guys started following us on Facebook there, and I said, "Hey, look at this. We should get you guys on and highlight some of your products." So, but
Yeah,
just checking out the website here, this is some pretty high end stuff. Like they have I don't know if I can share it, but we use a collimator to adjust the position of the focal point and to incorporate components. Like there's a full on lab you guys have they're giving her. Like this is insane engineering.
Yeah, well, these are guys are the top engineers that are designing all of these scopes in the world, pretty much. Now they're making their own. They're not fooling around. They make nothing but good stuff. I mean, and it's unfortunate that, especially the way our Canadian dollar is that it's maybe a price point above what a lot of people want to spend. You know?
Right.
Well, just one look at their website at marchscopes.com. You can see the quality right from there. Like there's a what is it, the half cutout picture of you guys of the whatever scope, and it's just the intricacy of the scope is just phenomenal. It blew me away. Anyway.
So your different scopes that you have, are they? There must be some that are fairly discipline specific. Jeez, I can't talk.
Yes.
Okay, and what would that be? Say your F-class scopes.
Lots of guys are using the 10 to 60 by 56 high master.
Okay.
Reticles in that, depending on which reticle you like, but that's the one for the 1,000-yard stuff.
Nice.
And some of the PRS guys and the long range guys are starting to use we got a brand new one came out this year. It's a 5 to 42 by 56 high master, which has the better glass in it again. The new glass is got it in a couple of other ones. So they're using that because it's got 140 minutes of elevation. And then they've got a new one called Genesis, which is, I get all these confused, 10 to 60. And it's got 400 minutes of elevation.
Holy smokes.
It's got a gimbal in it. So
right.
The old Unertl, so they're not having to move the reticle up and down and then use the poorer part of the glass on the outside edge. They're actually moving the scope.
Kurt, this is that 880 you're talking about here.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because the old Unertl ones, they can move the back or the front up and down. This one's got a gimbal in it, so it just rotates on the center.
And 8 them away. Oh, 8 them away down.
That sounds like something that a fellow like me should use in the King of 2 Miles next year.
Well, that's exactly what they're using. They're using to shoot that. Well, if you go to you can link on it on my website too. It'll take you to the March website, I think, or their stuff, and the guys were using it in the King of 2 Miles in France, and I think they came in second and fifth, if I remember right. I can't remember. They had 2 days of shooting.
Is that right?
Oh, my bad. I was on markscopes.com. I guess I need to be on markscopes.ca. That's your site. There you go. My bad. Oh, yeah. You got some hot looking stuff. Anyway, so
Easy
what
shot.
would you recommend for something using or for some like somebody like Kurt going out to 2 miles? Like, what would you recommend? Which one of your products?
Well, the guys that are serious about it, is Gary Costello. I don't know if you know him. He's in charge of Mark Scopes UK. Hang on, my gal here's trying to show me something. Okay. He's writing documents. So I was just like Mr. Trump, you know, I get that.
Cue cards. Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so they're using that 10 to 60 gimbal one. Actually, I got it right here. I don't know if you can see it here. Let's grab it and see if you can see anything. But it's a big scope, you know.
No kidding.
400 angle. I should know what it is in mils. But
Drive railroad spikes with that thing.
yeah, you could. Now, I hope I'm strong enough to do it with my hands here. But there's a pretty heavy spring in there, but this piece moves. Might get it to go properly. Get something off.
You got to have it attached to a 30-pound rifle.
Well, that's exactly.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty good spring, but this thing, I can't get it to move here. I don't know why. Some days
Here we go, folks. We're testing out the functions of the scope, and what we're going to do afterwards is test out whether or not it retains zero.
The gimbal's in here, and this rope moves up and down. You know, so but you can actually push it against the spring, and then it springs back.
Well, I got an illustration here. Hold on, let me share it again. Let me share the.
Very nice.
Backwards here and here.
So this is what he was talking about right here.
Okay.
Holy, that's a ton of elevation. You can go up 350 MOA. Wow.
That might get us out to 2 miles. Yeah.
No,
might. Yeah.
That's what Gary and those guys were using in France when they were shooting. I think one of the guys used they have another one too. It's a 4. I get so many numbers here. I get a little confused. Let me take a look so I don't tell you any fibs. It's a 4 to 40 by 52. And I did fib to you. That one's a 6 by 60 by 56.
Okay.
And then they make a smaller one that's 4 by 40 to 52. And I think that one does 200 minutes of angle.
No kidding. What size is the tube on most of your scopes?
They vary. We've got them, you know, they're all 30 or 34.
Okay.
I was getting confused. I was thinking here right now.
But if they come with that Genesis system, that's different. That's all built in.
It's kind of irrelevant. Yeah.
Wow.
Now, is that gimbal system? Is that your main mode of elevation correction, or is that a secondary?
It's the only one.
It's the only one. Okay, I see.
The reticle doesn't move. They want it in the center, especially when you're out that far. You want to be as clear.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I was wondering about for sure.
It does come with 2 mounts, so you can set it higher or lower. I think. Now I don't.
Okay.
I haven't actually had it. I got it out of the box, but I haven't taken the mounts up.
Right.
But comes with 2 sets of mounts now. Whether that gives you more elevation or whether it just lifts you up off the gun, I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, I see.
I should check.
See, the dangerous thing about taking those guys out of the box is it might end up staying in your damn house and not selling. Hey.
I thought about putting it on my 300 Winchester.
Right on.
Did you shoot that last one? Didn't they just have one up there in north by Edmonton there?
Yeah, well, it was southern Alberta, just around where the heck was it, Sean? Youngstown,
north of Redcliffe there.
right.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was up by Edmonton.
No, they had it down there. Oh man, when was that, Sean? First part of September, second weekend of
Yeah.
September.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And sorry, I'm just getting texts from work guys here. Yeah, it was sorry. It was
okay.
It was a good time. It was I think they had 26 shooters, and furthest target hit was 1920 yards, I believe. So they ran into some pretty miserable conditions, but I think it was a good first overall shoot. We didn't participate. We just covered it.
No.
Did some filming and talked to some of the shooters and all that kind of stuff. But our one of our sponsors is trying to goad us into competing next year, and go as a team with our sponsors. So or with one of our sponsors. We'll see if I can save enough pennies by that time next year.
Check the price, but I'm guessing that is that at Rob Furlong's range, or is that a different?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was closer up to Edmonton. So it's north of Redmond.
Sorry.
I thought it was further closer to Edmonton, but it's north.
No. It was out. It's out in the plains, just about the Badlands, down around where we were. So, yeah. So, no. We'd like to participate, but I mean, it's those things are pretty stinking expensive. I got enough trouble with one job. I'd have to have 2 or 3 to get there.
Well, and I mean, you could go shoot the 300 Winchester Magnum, but those guys with their Tri-Tacs are.
Well, yeah, you'd get eaten up pretty quick with a 300 mag.
Yeah,
mind you, there were a couple of 300 PRCs there, and the fella that won the event actually was shooting a 300 Norma. So it's not the 300 Win Mag is not way out of the field of play, but it does lag behind for sure.
Playing with a handicap.
Yeah, that's right. I got enough of those. I don't need to. I don't need to bring another one.
yeah, that's true.
So how's March Scopes doing in the F class realm of things?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Sold. Well, I'm trying to debate which ones I sold more of. I think perhaps more of the ones for the short range interest, the fixed power. They're 48 power. 48 by 52. I think those ones are. Yeah, 48 power fixed, 52 objective. And then probably the next ones I sold amount of would be those 10 to 60 high masters for F class.
Okay.
It's on my website. I keep on there how many of each is sold. I can't remember offhand, but I probably sold maybe 6 of them or more.
Okay.
I sold, I think I'm at 30 scopes so far since about a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And how are they doing in terms of warranty claims and stuff like that? That always seems to come up as issues or priorities for new scope buyers. I think that kind of almost started with the Vortex unlimited warranties. Now people more or less expect that across the board, it seems. So just wondering what March's is like.
Well, they have had a bit of an issue with that, or people perceived they had an issue with that, because
sure.
the Japanese government would only allow them to warranty it for 5 years. And I think with the language issues, I'm dealing with them. They have a girl there that speaks English, but you have to be careful what you write and how you write it, because she misunderstands.
Oh,
so they write up their warranty, but they don't understand what people perceive. And so it said 5 years because the government only allowed that. But they just recently somehow got them to extend them to let them give 10 years written warranty. But they also states, and I have a link to that warranty because people were always concerned about that. And they now state right in their warranty there, and I cajoled them into writing this stuff more clearly so people could understand. And they specify right in there, if it's a problem with the scope, you know, you didn't break it, after the 10 years, they will still fix it. And and also, if you give it to somebody else, the warranty's still good. So, I mean, basically, it's a never-ending warranty as long as you don't drive over the truck or drop it or bang against it.
Right.
Running
Yeah, standard.
Your truck or something, you know.
Yeah. Bend it over your knee.
Like, you know, if you're gonna drive it over with your truck, and let's see how durable this machine tube is, well, there you go, buddy. You just voided your warranty, kind of thing, and
Right.
that's pretty standard across, except for.
I don't think we want to see some guys, you know, where they took it threw it down the range. I don't. If we did that and it broke, I'm not sure they'd warranty that.
No,
Yeah.
of course.
No kidding. Jeez.
Well, and not for March. March makes a very high-end, high-quality product, and if you tried to warranty that, you throwing it down the range, the engineers back in Japan are going to look at it as a sign of disrespect and might just void your warranty out of principle.
Yeah, I think.
You know, it's like, you know, you're buying a very
old katana.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got your old sword that the master made of over the course of however many years. It's the same sort of thing with these. Like, these scopes are no joke. Like, you guys are pretty serious in your quality and in your craftsmanship, right? You know, everything's handmade, you're saying.
Oh yeah, the Japanese make every part in that scope. That's what people said. Well, you know, the supply chain's been interrupted. You're going to be able to get scopes in. And I asked them, and they said, well, I already knew, but I asked them, and they said, no, all our parts are made right here. We don't have any problem.
Is that right?
All in-house, right?
Well, I don't know if they're all in-house, but most of it's made in-house. But any parts that they buy are made right there in Japan. And I think actually right in that town where they are, it's a town that does like all kinds of glasses. You know, they grind lenses for reading glasses, for binoculars. That's what that town does. That's their industry.
Yeah, the company is Dion Optical or whatever it's called. They make lenses, right? So just makes sense that you would make rifle scopes. And just in the Suwa Basin, SUWA, and they got a picture of it on your catalog on March Scopes Canada's website. You got your catalog on there. They got a picture of them looking out over from the factory over across the bay. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Have you been there, Doug?
Oh, but I'd like to go. We'll see.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'll probably fly over there one day.
No kidding. All right.
So, just looking at these scopes again on your website, I'm curious, and I always have been. You know, when they're going with such a high magnification, like the top end magnification, why did they insist on such a wide range? Like, you've got a 4 to 40 and a 6 to 60 and an 8 to 80. You know, you'd think the guys that need that much high-end magnification wouldn't necessarily need the low end. I mean, it's a really novel feature that you have that much range. Do you know what their logic, I guess, is behind retaining that large range?
Well, I can't say I know exactly why they do it, but I know the first one that I bought, I was looking for a scope like on a gun that I could use for longer range and something that I could use for something, you know, a running game or something like that.
Right.
And looking for a wider range, and I looked and looked and looked, and I pretty much had given up. I couldn't find what I wanted, and that's when I stumbled across this March scope. I searched every scope, you know, for on the internet, and I couldn't find what I wanted. I thought, well, I guess I'll break down and buy something that I don't want, you know, buy 2 scopes or whatever. And I stumbled across this March scope, and 2.5 to 25. I thought, wow, that's even more than I bargained for.
No kidding.
Yeah, and so I bought it, and I mean, it's a beautiful scope. I had it here, and my buddies, they've been shooting long range and you know, short range bench rest and coyotes and everything. You know,
I was gonna say, you could go out and call coyotes one day and then then shoot to a mile the next.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I wanted, you know. And I mean, they looked at, you know, my scope when I got it. They looked through it, and it's like, wow, you know. And they said, well, yeah, but we were scared of the warranty. And I said, I didn't care about the warranty. I mean, I wanted what I wanted, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Held them back for a while, but they looked through it, and every time they looked, wow, is that a nice glass, you know?
Right.
So,
Right.
anyway, one of their two brothers actually, they're real good shooters here in Alberta, and one now has bought two of them and replaced his other scopes, and he's going to buy another one because they're the best. And I had it actually out at a shoot where we were finished up at 800 meters there. Well, I actually shot at 9 too, but come back to 800 where the parking lot is and where the nice spot is, and I had set up a table there and some tripods with scopes, and so the guys would, you know, bring their guns out and set them on the table, and then, you know, look through the marches, and, you know, everybody saying, oh yeah, they're way better, But there was one guy there had I don't say what it is. He had a different brand anyway, and he was pretty certain that his was better, so he wouldn't bother bringing his gun out. So anyway, everybody's looking, and oh yeah, these are better, and I actually sold one scope there that day, and anyway. So the other guys must have either cajoled him or he just got curious. He brought his gun out finally and looked through it, and he said, yeah, you're right, it's better.
Yeah. You like the taste of that crow?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look through a mark scope, I mean, it's just, they're this, especially if you get the high master ones. I mean, the other ones are comparable. I mean, there's other guys make good scopes too. There's no doubt about it. I just think the arch is fit and finished. The tightness, the shift is just all makes a better product.
Huh. So it seems like, how do I put this without sounding like a jerk, but your marketing isn't quite what other scope companies are. Why is that?
Because they're not big enough to afford it.
Is that right? Okay.
They're not big
Yeah.
enough.
Well,
You know, the advertising other companies do. I mean, you know, they sell millions of scopes. These guys sell. They make them one at a time when I order. You know,
no kidding.
It was taking almost 3 months to get a scope, and I told him, I said, you know, that's too long. I mean, the guy wants to go hunting and wants to do something. He wants to go shoot a competition match. He's not going to wait too much. He's going to buy somebody else's. So, with a little prodding from me, they've actually changed their whole manufacturing process, and now I'm getting them. They said 6 weeks, but a lot of times I'm getting them in 5 weeks, sometimes a month, depending on how many scopes.
Is that right? Okay. How long does it take to build one particular scope? Surely it doesn't take that entire month. That's including shipping and that. But
yeah, that to get it here, and they have to. They're just like the states. They're part of this ITAR thing, and they have to get a permit to send it out and the paperwork and all that stuff. Broker. So I'm sure there's probably a week involved in that, perhaps. And then they just, because I order one, they don't stop working on the one the guy ordered last week. So
yeah.
That's pretty much where it's running a month to 6 weeks. I haven't had any that's taken 6 weeks lately.
No kidding. Okay.
One bunch I did because they weren't flying into Calgary. They had to go to Vancouver, and then I had to clear them there and have them trucked here. So that's
Yeah. Any idea how many scopes they would make in a year? Like, is it 300 or?
No, they make more than that. The guy in Europe, he sells about 900 a year. The guy in Australia, the guy in UK, he has pretty much all of Europe. The guy in Australia has all of the Asia Pacific and Africa. He sells about 600. So.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
And the American guy, I don't know how many he sold because he quit or somehow he's not doing it anymore. He retired.
Oh,
and
okay.
They set up a bunch of smaller.
Right.
I would think that, I mean, America's a pretty big market. I would suspect that, you know, that they're doing 600 or 800 in a year or two, I would think.
March is pretty big in the UK, isn't it? I've read quite a bit about those guys over there.
Yeah, he does.
Them and their air rifles.
Yeah, well, they've got special scope for that too. Yeah, that's actually what that 8-80 was designed for.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Really?
Wow. That's interesting. They take their air rifles seriously over there, man.
Well, yeah, that's all I got. Almost.
Almost, yeah. Almost.
We're not too far behind the way we're going. Anyway.
No doubt. Unless you compete at Bisley. Is Bisley still going?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They are. I thought so, but I haven't heard much lately. So
other guys just want me to go over there. I haven't been shooting as much long range lately because I've been so busy doing other stuff. But years ago, I would shoot more seriously. You know, guys go from here. I don't know if anybody went this year, but I don't know if they had it this year. But there's a lot of guys that go from here.
Yeah.
Go and do it. I just couldn't imagine it. That's too much for me,
There's a bunch of red tape to get there too, I'm sure.
Oh, and
couldn't even imagine.
And big money and a lot of time. It just didn't seem like what I wanted to do.
Yeah, no doubt.
And even I toyed with going down to the Nationals there down at the Army base down east there, but I've never gone. There's usually somebody, 2 or 3 or 4 guys go from our club every year down there.
Oh yeah.
You can't. You got to ship your ammo and then you fly because some guys won't take it on the plane.
Yeah.
It looked like more work than fun.
Yeah, kind of. Hey. So you've got some illuminated scopes here as well.
Yeah. I've got several illuminated ones.
Oh yeah.
That 8-80 High Masters, you can get an illuminated reticle on that too.
Yeah, just about most of them you can. There's a few that you can't, but most of them will come on. I don't think the bench rest one, the 48 or I don't think it does because they only use that. A lot of times, the reason is I don't know if you're probably aware of it. You're a shooter, long-range shooter, but most of the illuminated reticles have a thicker line.
Right. Yeah.
So, depending on what you're doing, the thicker line sometimes doesn't matter. But if you're doing real precision stuff, you want that thinner line.
That's right. Yeah, it's problematic with some scopes, or problematic for some guys with some scopes for sure. And I imagine there's a lot of attention paid to that kind of stuff, especially with the higher magnification that you guys have. Now, what's, I guess the first focal plane scopes, you must have some awfully thin reticles in some of those with such a high top end magnification.
Yeah, well, that's what happens is they get pretty thick. And actually, the last one I ordered out of the States was that 5 to 40 by 56 in the first plane, and I ordered it without the lighted reticle because I didn't really need it. I have some other ones with lighted reticles, and I didn't particularly see a need for it. So I ordered that one, and then they said they were going to ship it. And then they called back and said, "Well, we don't have any with the unlighted reticle, but we got one with the lighted reticle." And she said the reticle is exactly the same. So I said, "Okay, I'll take it." But in fact, it's not. The lighted one might have been thicker. And when I got it, turned it to 40 power, I was a little miffed or disappointed. I thought, how could it be that thick? So I went on and had a look, and sure enough, she says the reticle's identical, but it's not. It's identical other than the pattern's identical, but the line's twice
the size. Yeah.
So I was a little disgruntled with it, but I mean, I started shooting it. And once you start shooting it, the biggest thing is it blocks you're used to seeing a little fine line, and you see this big fat cross in there, and it's sort of it's disturbing, whatever. But once you use it, it's not really a problem. I was actually going to, maybe sell it and try to get another one, but I decided to keep it because it's not really a big issue. I mean, if you were trying to shoot short range bench rest with it, or we used to have some long precision rifle stuff where they would put a 1/4 inch dot out at 130 yards or whatever.
Right.
I mean, the dot would be here, and the crosshairs, 2 inches on each side of it, so you couldn't do that. But I can shoot. We got 4-inch gongs at 500 meters, and I can center the dot on that gong. No problem at all.
Is that right? Yeah. Well, that's where a floating center is nice in a lot of cases too. Hey.
But even the crosshairs don't cover
it. And that's got to be small.
It's more perceived. But I mean, if I had to do it again, I would have sooner had the thinner line.
Yeah.
But the other thing is when you screw it down now, the line gets even thinner at the close ranges, right?
Sure.
So it's kind of a trade-off.
Now, is that why you some of these reticles that I'm looking at, they get thicker as you get out to the edge of the scope? Is that why? Just because of that power range, that magnification range, and I guess indicating center at the the lower end of magnification on the first focal plane scope?
Well, I'm not 100% sure because I haven't asked them, but what I think it is it's mostly you see that on the hunting type scopes. And I think it's for if the light's poor or whatever, the sun's in your eyes, you've got them bigger posts, you can still center up the animal. I think it's
Right. Oh, I gotcha.
Because I have some real fine ones that I bought years ago to try to shoot these 1/4-inch dots at 135 meters, because my other one was covering the dot at these competitions, and it works well until the sun comes around into your eyes, and then you're blinking, and because it's washing out, right?
Right. Yeah.
Can't get it crisp. It's washing out and fading, and so I don't like those thin ones as much as
right. Geez, some of these reticles, I'd have to take a bloody math class again to actually use them. There's a lot of features in those reticles. I'm looking at the FML TR1 right now, and wow, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
I guess. Well, I haven't really. I have one I actually bought for myself in 4-42, that High Master one with the MAP one. What's it called? MAP. I think it is MAP reticle. It's the Christmas tree, basically, whatever they call it.
Right.
And but you're a long range shooter. The idea is, if you're shooting here and your bullet's down here, well, then you move that spot up to the center, and then the bullet should go in there.
Right.
The idea of them. But I was looking at them too, and those dots are a long ways off. I mean, for what we're doing, we're shooting at 1,000 yards. F class. I mean, the X ring is 5 inches.
Right.
So,
yeah.
If you're 1 dot off, you're down here somewhere.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, that if you're that far off, maybe you should go home.
Well, hey, everybody's got to play, right?
How dare you, Doug?
So insensitive.
What I'm getting at is I don't think they're any good for F class shooting, but at 2 miles or something, you could be 6 feet off or 10 feet or 25 feet off. Then it becomes, and that's what they were looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could be 25 feet off very easily at 2 miles.
And then they'll be useful, and I think that's what they're
designed. You bet. What about spotting scopes? Have they ever thought about getting into that market at all? Do you know?
They haven't mentioned it to me. They were asking me about, because I do cowboy shooting, but I also do a lot of IPSC shooting.
Okay.
Stock gun, that kind of stuff.
That's my forte, by the way. Now I can actually talk in conversation.
And go.
Sorry, what did you say?
What's that, Doug? Sorry?
I didn't hear what you said. Sorry.
Well, I said, well, now you brought up IPSC. That's my forte. Now I can talk. Let Gerd do his thing.
Well, yeah, I did a lot of that years ago. I still do some. I still do some. I don't shoot too much here anymore. I shoot in the States when I go down there in the winter. And part of the reason I don't is I don't like this, what do they call that nonsense where you got to sign up? You guys doing that down there too?
Black badge?
No. They make
practice score.
That's, yeah.
Oh, that, yeah.
I don't like it. I mean, so we all fought to get our long guns deregistered, and we got all our other guns registered. So, that they know where all our stuff is. Why would you want to go and volunteer? And it used to be when they first started, I signed up for a few, but all you had to do is go in and put in what your name was, and you were shooting this class, right? But now Google or somebody took it over, one of these
oh, you're kidding.
Whatever you call media guys taking it over. And now you have to fill in who you are, where you live, what color your nose is, and all your information, what kind of gun you are, and you're shooting expert, whatever. So now you not only told them that you have handguns, you told them that you're proficient.
Like hell, hey?
That's right.
Playing devil's advocate to that, Doug, practice score has made running a match a lot easier and a lot simpler.
I agree with that, and that's how they got everybody doing it.
That's right. And, instead of, everyone bringing $40 or $60 or whatever the match fee is, and then you got to, write down on a piece of paper who paid their match fees. You have everybody pay online, show up, here you are, take attendance. Okay, you're in this squad, you're in this squad, you're in this squad, go. And it just made things a lot more streamlined, because the worst thing ever was when you show up to a pistol match and you excuse my French, you fuck around for an hour and a half, 2 hours trying to figure out who's in what squad and trying to figure out who paid their match fees and who's got insurance, who's got their black badge, who doesn't. And then by the time you're shooting, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's 10 o'clock. You could have ran through 3 squads already, and you're busy dinking around. And I don't know. I think outside of what you said, Doug, Practice Score has made the life of a match director very easy. But
I wonder though, and I get that, but I wonder if you polled all those shooters and directors, how many would have the same sentiments as what Doug just expressed? Now they got me pinned down.
Yeah, I have the same sentiments as Doug. I've already got everything registered up to Wazoo. Now I got to have one more thing. Come on, guys!
Yeah.
Well, and I agree, and that's how they got everybody signed up to it, because it made the organizing a match much simpler. And then I was fine with it when that's all they were doing. But when these multimedia guys, or what do they call them,
right,
they got in on this and wanted you now to sign up a membership and take all your information. That's when I said, hey, this is right. And I was hoping that maybe the clubs would all get together and say, hey, we've got this system. We can hire somebody to build this, and we don't have to deal with these other guys. These other clubs, as far as I'm concerned, they're all criminals.
Yep. No,
I know what you're saying, and rightfully so.
Yeah. No, I would tend to agree for sure.
Yeah.
They don't have our best interests at heart. That's for damn sure.
No. And I mean, I'm almost up to the point where I miss shooting it. I might break down and go do it.
Yeah, you want it bad enough, you'll do things.
Yeah, I get a taste of some of it when I'm in the States.
IPSC Nationals was just out your way out by what's the range out by Canmore there? They had the IPSC Nationals out there 2 years ago. 2 years ago?
Yeah, 3 or 4 maybe. The national I shot. No, I didn't shoot the national. I think they had a match the next week after I went out and shot.
Yeah. That's a beautiful range. That's a great range out there. Anyway,
well, and that's where we shoot long range there too, right next door.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, right on. Well, what else do you want to tell us about March? You got any promos, any deals on right now, or?
Well, everything, because they're all sold in U.S. dollars, and that's the biggest problem for Canada, because a guy, I don't know, I got this prices right here. Where are they? I got it in U.S. dollars, sure, because that's the way they price them. So the scope is. I just sold one here today. It's on the second page.
I got the trusty conversion here.
So it's $2,400 US.
So let's say conversion 35%. You're looking
at 35%. It's about $3,200. So I've got all my stuff off at 10% off. So it was $29.19.
All right.
But still, we don't have any more money than the Americans do. He's paying 24. We got to pay 29, and actually 32. And that's why I've got him 10% off, because our exchange on our dollar is pushing these things out of people's reach.
Yeah, that's a shameful part.
24 to 32, that's a big chunk.
Well, and COVID didn't help anything either. You got guys losing, tradesmen losing work and all that, and then, not to mention you're selling a premium product, and with that comes a premium price. Even though you comparative to other brands, your product may be light years ahead of them. People, at the end of the day, a lot of people don't see that, right? They see the dollar figure and they'll see, $3,200. It's like, 10% is going to make a world of difference, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
almost $300 or maybe more.
Yeah.
Like that. But I mean, my prices, even at the full retail, if you compare them to, you guys know who the other top guys are, top brands. I mean, my prices are the same as theirs, pretty much.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
So at my price, I'm cheaper than they are.
But you also have a product line that's very unique as well. Like Kurt was saying, the 8-80 and the ranges you got are just insane, which is good in a good way.
Well, bring something to market that nobody else has. that's a big bonus.
Well, and you were asking, I probably didn't answer your question properly about, what was some of the ideas of being able to come up and down. But I mean, as well as I do, if the mirage gets real bad, you got to start screwing that thing down, right?
Exactly. That's one thing that was definitely on my mind when we were talking earlier with the higher magnifications. Because a lot of guys with the top out at say 25, which is extremely common, they'll back them off to 18 or something like that to shoot way the heck out there just because of the mirage, or even less sometimes. And I wonder, does it have the same effect, backing off that 20% or something like that? Like instead of being able to use 60 or 80, will you be able to back off to 45 or 60 or something like that to back out of that mirage? Will it have the same effect as like a 25 coming down to 18? Or are you still going to see that much mirage with that much magnification?
Well, I can't answer that question with definitive because I don't tell lies.
Right.
But
well, and every day is different too, right?
every day is different. But from what I have, talked to the guys, is like my buddy that I sold this last to them, 10 to 60s. He said that they were shooting out there in the mirage, and he said he hardly had to back it down at all. So.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah.
That's
but you can, if you have to, like, especially if you're shooting a PRS match, where you're shooting out at 1,000 yards or 1,200 or 14, you've got the power, and now if the mirage is real bad, you can still go down to 10.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was shooting some PRS matches. Sometimes we had to get down to 12 to get enough. That's where enough field of view to see where our shots are going, right, in the wind, so that we can correct.
Right.
So you can go up if you need to, and then you can come down if you have to. So it works nice for that.
Sounds like those scopes would be great on your range, Kurt.
I think so too.
All that mirage we get.
Especially when that stuff starts cooking off in the middle of the afternoon in July.
Oh yeah.
Well, the one thing I know is that they had a big short range bench rest, like 100, 200, 300 yards. I don't know if they do yards or meters. I think they do yards. Down in the eastern states, that we had a big national match or something there.
Right.
And the mirage was really bad. And apparently the only guys that could basically see the targets were the guys with the March scopes. After that, all of these March, all of them, all the serious shooters combine March scopes.
Is that right?
Yeah,
it has a lot to do with, from what I've read, I can't tell you firsthand, but a lot to do with the coatings on the glass, right? Being able to filter through that mirage better than other scopes. Me and my lowly Bushnells, which have done me very well, do struggle with mirage for sure. And you look through a Zeiss or something like that, and of course I have no experience with March yet. And it is definitely
wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Doug, can I come out and visit you one weekend?
You should. The range, we shoot some guns.
Damn right.
Sounds like a trip.
Absolutely.
And I got my thing set up here. Actually, why don't you just turn it so they can see it? I've got. Yeah. I'll tell you where to turn it.
Oh, you got staff there. Good.
Oh my goodness. Only reason this keeps going on is because of my girlfriend.
She's doing a hell of a job too. I'll tell you that.
A little bit more. And I got a couple of scopes on a tripod, and you can see out the window, but so I can see the tire sign out there about 400 or 600 yards away. And what happens? The guys will come here and they want to look at the scope. So I tell them, well, bring your rifle. Why is it any better than mine? I said, bring your rifle. So I'll put the scope they're interested up there, and then they'll set the rifle on the other bipod and look at the same thing, and they'll say, I'll take that.
You're right. Oh, I see now. Yeah, it's funny. Guys are hard to convince to spend money if they think they have what they need, and then you show them something like that. It's
that's a
proof is in the pudding, right?
A new scope if the one they got's just as good, and how do they know? I can tell them mine's better, but I said bring your gun, and they put it up here and they look through it and they look through this one side by side, and it's like,
right.
Where do I sign on the line?
Yeah. Well, we're funny animals, hey. if we had $1 for every time we said about something we have, oh, I've been doing it this way for 20 years. Nothing wrong with it. And then you get shown something better. All right.
Yeah. I guess I'm wrong. My pride is set aside for now.
That's it.
Well,
That's
and,
it.
and I'm in the ag equipment industry, and it's the same way. You got to demo it to show people, and especially if you're selling a premium product, right? It's exactly how it is. So,
well, let me tell you,
Cool.
Doug, we could show a lot of people your scopes.
good.
We might just work something out.
There you go.
There you go. Anyway,
Totally
so
shameless.
yeah, without shilling too hard here.
Well, I in Saskatchewan farm boy hanging out with some other Saskatchewan boys. I should put my hat on, eh?
There you
Well, there you go.
absolutely. Now you finally
Nice.
fit in, Doug.
That's right.
Good deal.
So what does the future lie? What lies ahead for March Scopes?
Well, I'm hard to say with this COVID nonsense. I mean, I sold up till this spring. I sold about 28 or 29 scopes in about 8 or 9 months. And, this last 2 months, I sold one today or yesterday or whatever. But I mean, that's the first one that I sold in about a month or two now. So it's definitely slowing things down. But I'm optimistic that it will come back. I mean, the reason I have that many scopes is I've always I don't know where I read it years ago. The guy said, if you don't have any apples in your wheelbarrow, you can't sell apples. So
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Well, it's got to turn around at some point. That's the thing is waiting for that point.
Exactly.
When the heck is that going to happen? I don't know. It's hard to say, hard to predict what's going to happen, when it's going to start coming around, when people are going to start to smarten up and stand up against some of this garbage. But anyway, that's just, I don't want to get off on my soapbox again. I do that fairly frequently. Yeah.
There's a reason we have a podcast. We should call it Kurt's Soapbox.
Listen, I don't have any opinions about anything. You know that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Anyway, I'm hoping that things will turn around, but it's not my source of income. I got it in my rental property here. I got 30 tenants, and I make a living whether I sell any of these scopes. So
yeah,
kind of a hobby for me, basically.
Well, good for you. I think it's a great hobby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are they now? How far a reach does March have? Are they all over the world? I know they're like in Europe and Australia. You said Africa.
Yeah, well, the guy in UK, United Kingdom, he has all of Europe, and he has dealers all over Europe. And actually, if you go on my website and then you can click on any scope, and it'll take you to the one in Japan, and then up there they'll say dealers or where to buy, and you can click on it and show you everybody in the world.
Right.
To buy them. But they have the distributor in UK. He does all of Europe, and he has dealers in Russia and all over. He's probably just about every country in Europe, but quite a few of them.
You bet.
Australia, he does New Zealand and all of Asia and South Africa or Africa, and he has some dealers there too. So
nice.
I'm looking after most of Canada. So
yeah, long range shooting is getting bigger in South Africa, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Been reading that quite a bit.
The distributors, I don't know who's looking after South America. I think they're just setting up. I think March is doing them. They've got some distributors in South America.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. Well, they got some mountaintops to shoot off of, anyways. Also lots of jungle.
Yeah,
I guess that's where your lower end stuff comes in.
Well, they got lots of mountains down there. I figured out why they called these countries down there. I was down there about 5 years ago, and I bought a motorbike in Ecuador, and I rode all over Ecuador, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica for 6 months.
Holy!
Okay, on my bike, and I came up with the conclusion why they call them third world countries, because they spend all their money building roads in the Andes. The road up to 12,000 feet, and it goes down to 12,000 feet, and then it goes back up and down and up and down. And then the money they spend on roads in those countries.
No kidding. Well, cheap labor, though, I imagine.
Yeah, probably not the same safety standards that we got, Kurt.
Probably, yeah. No kidding.
Don't
Safety meeting. What is a safety meeting? Yes.
The rules are, if you have a motorbike, be careful while you're driving. 'Cause they'll
Is that
run-
right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Two semi trucks coming up the hill like this, doing 30K or less, passing each other.
No kidding.
They got like a rain rut on the side that out of concrete that goes down like this on the mountainside because it's
Right.
cliff that way, and down about 3 feet and then up like that. So the water runs down. I had to go down into that rain rut. If you didn't
Wow. Is that right?
Oh yeah, and well, I do cross country racing and stuff, so I'm a reasonable rider. And then anyway, this thing is in the shaded side, so there's green moss on this thing that's sloping. above
Sure.
the bottom. So as soon as
Right.
my tire touched there, it went straight to the bottom, right? And I didn't fall down, but then I had to drive about half a mile to be able to get out.
No kidding. That's wild.
They'll run right over you down there if you get in their way.
Well, I got enough problems on Highway
Yeah.
11 here in Saskatchewan. Never mind that.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Mountains down there to shoot on, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, next time you take a trip down there for 6 months, you just let me know. I'll take care of your inventory for you for a while. How's that?
All right.
I'll house sit for you.
Yeah. Very reluctantly, might I add. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right. Yes, sir. This one's tested and good to go.
Yeah.
Verified.
Yeah. Why is this one scuffed, Kurt?
Mm.
No reason. There's warranty on the tube, right? Anyway. Well, Doug.
About the warranty earlier, I'm a warranty depot. If you got a problem with that scope, you send it to me and I send it to you.
Oh, okay. Good.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, we
Well,
filled a good
guys,
hour there.
Yeah, I should probably get back to work and see what kind of damage the boys have done. while it's gone.
When Dad's away, the kids will play, right, Kurt?
That's right. Well, they're pretty damn good kids though, too. So
They are. Well, Doug, thanks for filling us in and everyone listening in on what you do and what March has to offer. And if anyone has any questions, where can they find you?
At marchscopes.ca, or if they search anywhere March Scopes, my website will come up and everything's on there. They can click on the scopes, and if they want to see reticles, it takes them to the March Japan site. It has all the reticles there, and
yeah,
they can phone me. My phone numbers are on there. Doug at marchscopes.ca. They can email anytime you like.
There you go.
I'm happy to answer any questions you got.
Yeah. No, perfect. Well, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate that too. That's great.
no problem. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. I was a little apprehensive, but I've never done this before. But
Oh, you're doing good. You're
Yeah,
good.
you're doing great. Right on.
You should have seen me my first podcast.
Every podcast.
Every podcast. Yeah, I know. I'm a little bit of an uncomfortable guy, eh?
we need to see who's actually responsible for this, because I could never have done it.
Oh, there she is.
Technician.
Thanks for
Like
your-
I said before the show, behind every man is a great woman, propping
That's
them up,
right.
right?
You are a gentleman. Likewise. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Your show, your podcast. Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Run away and share it.
All right.
Okay, thanks. Have a good one.
All right, bye for now.
Well, I guess that's it.
I didn't realize we caught Nisa on the tail end of that.
Well, yeah, we had to show her. That's the way to go. Anyway,
It's good to have the technical assistant there.
no kidding.
Well,
No
lots of
kidding.
good questions coming from the audience.
Yeah, for sure.
Some of them that we failed to ask Doug.
Well, I texted him
Yeah,
trying
maybe
to
you
get
have
an
him on
answer.
again sometime.
Yeah, I tried to get an answer out of Doug here. I just sent him a text, but he's a little busy about the etch reticles. So we'll get that to you, Spudman. Next, was it Spudman who asked that? Yeah, it was.
I believe so. Yeah.
So we'll try and get you and answer next episode. But yeah, that was kind of eerie for the first time, sitting back and watching ourselves talk for an hour and
That was
just actually talking.
that was kind of weird. Yeah, right.
But anyway,
Well, the
on that
unfortunate
note-
part is, usually during our live.
What?
All right. Well,
What?
fuck me. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Oh no, but you were
No, it's all good.
you were saying during your live during our live streams, we normally get more interaction from you guys, and yeah. Oh, is my internet all screwy? No, we're good. Anyway, on that note, I think we should end it.
A little bit.
Okay.
All right.
Well, cool.
You go and sleep it off, boy.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Have a good night. Thanks, guys, for coming.
Wow,
see you next
you
week.
have a glitchy, pal.
Okay,
Okay.
bye.